Hello everyone and welcome to another video here on my channel. My name is Carol. If you are a new subscriber, welcome. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. On this channel, I talk all things God, faith. I share tips and tricks on how to level up as a young individual without dropping your values and your beliefs. So if these are what you are interested in or want to hear so much more, please stick around. In this video, I want to share on the importance of having goals and visions for one's self, especially as you are maturing, growing, and leveling up as a young individual who God has called or ordained for you to be. It is essential that we realize that as people, as individuals, we have purpose, we have goals, we have a vision, or God has a vision for us, and it is essential that we tap into what that vision or what those visions are. And in this video, I am going to go in depth as to why you and I need to have goals and visions for our lives. Not just because we need to release that which God has put on the inside of us, but so that we will find purpose and meaning in everyday things. Oftentimes, the reason why we are living in fear, anxiety, the reason why we are bored with life or just feel so tapped out with everything is because we do not have goals or vision, or is because we have not come into the realization of what those goals and visions are. So I hope that as you are watching this video or that you are listening to me, that you will really ask yourself, what are my goals? Or do I even have goals? What are my visions? What is that next thing that I'm trying to achieve or that I'm trying to be or that I'm trying to get into? And as you ask yourself those questions, I want you to lean on God. I want you to ask God. In one of my videos, I talked about the fact that God created us. And because God created us, He knows us far better than we know ourselves. I gave the example of someone that has a particular phone, let's say a Samsung, right? Someone that has a Samsung, when that Samsung breaks down, they're not going to take their phone to Apple, they are going to take their phone to Samsung. Likewise, when we deal with uncertainties in life, when we do not know what to do, where to go, we shouldn't be going to the things of this world because those things did not create us. We should be going to the one who created us, and that is the person of Jesus Christ, right? That is the Holy Spirit that is living on the inside of us. So with that being said, let's get right into this video and dissect the reason why you and I need to have goals and visions for our lives. The first reason why you should have goals and visions in your life, for your life, is to give yourself direction and focus. Well, what do you mean, Carol? Let me explain. When you don't have a vision, when you don't have a goal, when you do not have that next thing you're trying to walk to or attain, you will get very frustrated with life. Life will almost feel like a never-ending cycle, and you will feel very tapped out, right? Oftentimes in corporate America, we use the term burnt out, when for a long time you've been doing the same thing over and over, that you are out of touch with something new and you need something new. Not every day should be the same thing where you're bored and you're exhausted. You should feel like you're continuously learning and continuously evolving. Same thing when you don't have a goal or a vision that you're living towards or walking towards. You will become very frustrated. So the reason why you need goals and visions in your life is to give you a sense of direction. Your goal and your vision will be like a compass leading you to your next success, leading you to your next breakthrough. Without these things, life will just be as if you are a flower just decorating someone's life or just decorating the planet. And we know we are far from this. God did not create us to be decorative figures on the planet. God created us to be living being, having authority and doing exploit. So without a vision, without goals, what exactly are you living towards? What exactly are you looking forward to? You do not have direction, and also you do not have focus. Well, what do I mean by focus? When you have a goal and when you are working towards a vision, usually you will go into tunnel vision because you are focusing on your goal. You are focusing on that vision. This will give you a sense of responsibility. You're not going to look to the right. You're not going to look to the left. You're not going to look at what other people are doing because you will be so focused on that goal, that business you're trying to open or establish, right? That degree you're trying to accomplish, that marriage you're trying to build up, those children you're trying to raise. When you have a goal and when you have a vision in life, again, these serve as your compass. They direct you and they give you a sense of purpose. Oftentimes, when we feel out of touch with ourselves, when we feel hopeless in life, it's because for a long time we had been living in other people's shoes. And what do I mean by this, right? You see someone else get married, you see someone going to school, and you sort of mimic that without asking God whether or not these are the things that you should be going for. Yes, they went to school, but it doesn't mean that this is your season nor your time to go to school. Yes, they got married, but it doesn't mean that this is your season nor your time to get married. When you are focused on your vision, on your God ordained goals, it will make you shift your perspective away from what other people are doing and realign yourself with what you should be doing, what God has called and ordained you to do, right? So, this is the first reason why you need goals, why you need visions. They give you a sense of direction and they also make you focus not only on yourself, but where you are going to, what God has called you for. And they make you focus on your potential, on what God has invested within you that you did not know, but that when you start to focus on what those dreams and those visions are, you will begin to manifest them and you will begin to step into the fullness of who you were created to be. The number two reasons why you need visions and goals in life is to stay and be motivated. That's right. Goals and visions motivate you. They are simply a motivating factor. Without goals in your life, without a vision in your life, you are going to feel lazy. You're not going to want to wake up in the morning to do anything. You're not going to want to get out of your bed. You're not going to want to get inside of your car and drive to some place. You're not going to want to put some money into your bank account and work the job that needs to be worked so that you can make a substantial living. Without vision and without a goal, you're not going to be motivated to do anything. No one wants to do anything. If we would have it our way, we would be sitting at home on a couch or on a bed watching TV with food around us because what we want comfort, we want the easy life. But because our goals oftentimes are not easy, they motivate us to go out. They motivate us to get out of the house. They motivate us to take risk. They motivate us to do what others did not do. Why? Because we have visions. Why? Because we have goals. And our goals are not going to get accomplished if we sit around and do nothing. Our goals will only get accomplished when we get up and when we make a move. And this is why you need motivation. Motivation isn't going to come because someone says so. Motivation isn't oftentimes going to come because you got an epiphany, but motivation is going to come when you know you are working towards something, especially when it is something of significance, and especially when it doesn't just involve or impact you. You need goals and visions because you need to be motivated. You constantly need that fire within you to push you, to propel you, to be your number one cheerleader, right? I often think of this, right? And I often say this to myself. Think of where you come from, right? Many of us, we did not grow up in luxury of, having the wealthiest things in life, of having the perfect things in life, of coming up from a wealthy family or coming up from a good background and things of that nature, or being born to a billionaire, right? Or just having some of the luxuries in life that we know that if we have now, we will be so much further ahead. So think about that, right? Oftentimes, this too can be a motivating factor. Think of where you come from, the struggles you've been through, the trauma you have experienced, and the things that makes you who you are today. And use this along with your goals and with your visions to motivate you, right? Your goals and your visions are not just there to remind you that you're a failure, but they are there to motivate you, to remind you to keep going, to tell you that you can do it. Again, they act as number one cheerleader, pushing you, compelling you. They are literally acting like catalysts, right? Pushing and prospering you and propelling you to your future, to that goal, to that vision. So don't see these goals and visions as negative or as you're comparing yourself to another being, but see them as motivating factor, pushing you to be your best self. The third reason why you need goals and visions is to measure your progress. That's right. Oftentimes, when you are working towards something, it's very easy to lose track of what it is you are working towards. It's very easy, especially because that goal or that vision does not take a week. What if it takes couple of years, decades, right? And even a lifetime. It could be very easy to lose track of the progress that you are making along the way. And I'm going to go a little bit off track here and just say that oftentimes life can feel as though we are not making progress. Life can feel as though we are stagnant. And I think this is a trick of the enemy because we're not stagnant, right? Whether you're moving up or whether you're moving down, you are moving towards something. You're not stagnant. But let's say in this instance that you are actually making progress, except it's not the fast kind of progress. It's a little bit slow. Nevertheless, progress is progress, right? So you shouldn't lose track of that. You should celebrate that, and you should also measure that. It doesn't matter how long it takes you to reach that goal, right? Whether that goal is to build a house, buy a house, get married, build a business, right? Whatever timeline you give yourself, if you have already exceeded that timeline, that's okay, right? This goes back to having that motivation, right? That's the whole purpose or reason why you should have goals and vision. Not only do they act as motivating factor, as I mentioned in my previous point, but they also help you keep track and measure your progress along the way. Along the way, many things will happen. Life, honestly, is unpredictable. Oftentimes, the plans that we have do not always go according to plans. So does this mean that we should lose hope and leave the things that we have started? Absolutely not. Acknowledge these things and guess what? Measure them, right? And keep progress and keep yourself accountable for the progress that you are making. The reason why we have goals and the reasons why we have visions and that we're working towards those goals and visions is so that we can keep measurement of where exactly we came from, where are we now, and where do we want to go in the future. We do not just have goals for the sake of having goals or for the sake of comparing ourselves in a boastful way to others. We have goals so that we can measure our success, so that we can measure our failures even, right? Let's say you started up as a 9 to 5, right? You started in corporate America as, let's say, an analyst, right? And your vision is to leave corporate America and to eventually form your own business, right? While you are working or while you are under the supervision or the guidance of a 9 to 5 employer, you are investing in building your own business, right? So you are measuring your progress. What is it that I am doing this year to get me closer to opening my own analytic business? What am I doing this month to get me closer to opening my own personal business, right? So the purpose of having goals, the purpose of having that vision is to keep yourself accountable. So it's to help you track your progress. It's to help you measure, right? What is it that I have done positively to get me closer to that goal or to that vision? And what is it that I have done negatively to get me further away from that goal and from that vision? The last and final thing that I want to say here about the importance of having goals and vision is that it is never too early to have goals and vision. In fact, the earlier you begin to have and know what those goals are, the better you will be. I realized this early in life that the more I knew what I wanted, the easier it became to actually get that which I want, right? And this began with a clear understanding of who I was, what I was brought to this earth to do, what is my mission, what are those things that I love to do, right? Or that makes sense for me to do, whether in my family, in my career, or just in the world. And I mentioned this in one of my previous videos about leaning on God, putting your faith on God, investing in a relationship with God, because the primary way of knowing what your goal and your vision is to understand and have a relationship with God. And that way he will reveal to you what those goals and those visions are. It is not too early to begin. One of the things that God has shown me and has proven to me to be an absolute wonder is when I write down what my goals and my visions are. I am a huge writer. I write my dreams, I write my visions, I write biblical text, I write everything that God tells me. I have books and journals just full of writing about what comes to mind. Why? Not because I don't have anything I don't have anything else to do, but because I know that when things are in writing, it helps you understand how important and how valuable that is, right? Not only is writing an excruciating task, right? So when you actually sit down and put a pen in your hand and write on paper, you know that you are serious. Do that for yourself. When a goal comes to mind, when you have that vision, take a pen and take a piece of paper and write that goal and that vision down. Not only will this help you stay accountable, but it will give you a great memory when you look back how many years backwards, right? After you've already attained this goal, after this vision has already manifested, you read your book or you read your notepad and you say to yourself, wow, look at where God has done in my life. Look at where God has taken me. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you were blessed. If you watched up until this point, thank you. Please like this video and also subscribe to my channel to not miss any future content like this and more. Until next time. Chemona tumiti na loto polo kukai, mana chemona tumiti.